following presentation of the National Football League on NFL Network.
Winning is not a sometimes thing. It's an all-the-time thing.
You don't win once in a while.
You don't do things right once in a while.
You do them right all the time.
Any man's finest hour.
His greatest fulfillment
To all he holds dear.
Is that moment
when he's worked his heart out
And lies exhausted
on the field of battle. Victorious.
victorious.
There goes Bryant to the 30.
Got a block to the right 20. He's on his feet to the 35.
Romo goes back to pass. Throws it down the field. A lot of running room.
And a Thursday night football special edition brings us to Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida. And our matchup, the Dallas Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. As you take a look at the NFC playoff picture, the Dallas Cowboys would love to be at least one column further to the left, if not all the way to the left. And had they beaten the Giants last Sunday night, that is where they'd be. We welcome you, everybody. Brad Dussler along with Mike Mayock. And the Cowboys know that. Had they taken care of business, partner, in the last 5 minutes, they wouldn't be in the situation they're in. But if they win out, they're going to win the division. They have to start that here tonight. And most of the Cowboys said to us, hey, we're in first place.
Tampa Bay tonight, Philadelphia next week. Now remember, Philly whacked them earlier in the season 34-7, and Philadelphia is a very dangerous team. Now, when I look at this Cowboys team, it's not about the 2 missed field goals that everybody wants to talk about. What it is about, if they want to be relevant deep into the playoffs, taking care of business on the back end defensively. Too many chunk plays as a result of busted assignments. We talked to Rob Ryan last night. He said, hey, we're going to scale back mentally so we can play fast and smart.
They want to get some turnovers. That's been a problem for the Tampa Bay Bucs this year. After a great season for Josh Freeman last year, it hasn't been great this year. He's thrown 18 interceptions.
Yeah, and this is a team that's built to play small ball. So you start with LeGarrette Blount, 247-pounder, who leads the league in fumbles lost. He's got to take care of the football. And then the quarterback. This is a talented kid that has not played anywhere near as well as a year ago. 18 interceptions. They have to put Josh Freeman in manageable third down situations.
Well, the Bucs have lost 7 straight after a 10-win season last year, and we usually talk about the heat in Tampa. It's the temperature. There's some heat on the organization right now, too. Alex has more on that.
Absolutely, Brad. Raheem Morris is his job security, the subject of an awful lot of speculation here in Tampa Bay. It's very unlikely that he would be fired in season, so that gives this team 3 weeks to really show what they're made of. Tight end Kellen Winslow saying that he is playing tonight to protect his head coach's job, to keep this team together, to keep these young players and coaching staff rolling into the future. We're about ready to see how much fight they have left in them, Brad.
And they talked openly about the fact that they're playing for their coach. They hope there's fireworks tonight to snap the long losing skid. Tampa Bay won the toss. They will receive. Jason Garrett, a little bit of heat on him too. There always is if you're the coach of the Dallas Cowboys. And that's Preston Parker back deep, awaiting Dan Bailey's kick. As we conclude a busy week on NFL Network, our second game in 2 days. But here we go. Parker from 2 yards deep. And he got whacked before he got to the 20-yard line. Alex Albright on the special teams makes the hit. So out comes Josh Freeman. All 6'6", 250 pounds of it. But those numbers, as Mike and I talked about, quite a reversal from last year when he had 25 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions.
I think it's important to remember, Brad, throughout the evening, he's 23 years old. There's a bunch of kids that are going to get drafted at the quarterback position this year in the NFL draft that are already older than him, and he's been a 3-year starter.
LeGarrette Blount, the tailback in the eye, the first snap for Tampa Bay from the 19. And he gets the call, wrapping both hands around that football as he goes out close to the 22-yard line. Had a couple of fumbles last week. That's been a problem for Blount. Here's the guys that he runs behind. Trueblood and Joseph Fain, the 9th-year center. And on the other side, Zutab and Donald Penn, who's had a good season except last week. Kellen Winslow, one of the favorite targets. Mike Williams. Desmond Briscoe gets to start with Aurelius Ben out tonight. Lorg is the fullback and Blount the tailback. On second down and 7. Looking at DeMarcus Ware on that corner in his track stance already. And they'll run his way. They cut inside him, and Ware made the tackle. As they got out 2 more yards, will bring up a 3rd down against the Dallas defense. It's a very talented one up front. Hatcher and Ratliff. Kenyon Coleman. DeMarcus Ware, 15 sacks coming in. Sean Lee's had a brilliant middle linebacker campaign this season with Brady James. Spencer, the other linebacker, the back end. Jenkins and Newman on the corners. And Elam and Sensible are the safeties. 3 receivers set here for Josh Freeman on the first 3rd down of the ball game. 3rd and 5, Tampa Bay.
3rd and manageable, as we talked about right here. This is where Freeman has to be money tonight.
The bunch group to the right of Freeman. He's looking that way. The pressure's coming. He runs through the pressure and through the secondary. And he's still going. Almost to midfield. 25 yards for Freeman, and that lights up the crowd.
Exactly what Raheem Morris, offensive coordinator Greg Olson, everybody connected with this franchise talked about. He's so gifted athletically. He's got to step up, and he's got to use his feet to help them make plays. 3rd and 5 at 250-some pounds. This kid is an athlete. Tuck the football away, and now you've extended a drive. You've kept Tony Romo on the sideline.
All the way out to the 49-yard line. Play action for Freeman. Loads and now has to reload and run again. And a good game, but the ball is out of the end.
Oh, boy.
Cowboys might have it. They do. Brady James with a fumble recovery as Freeman dropped it as he was going down at the end of the scramble. So a big play by the quarterback, but a bigger play by Anthony Spencer to force the fumble. Thursday Night Football Special Edition is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Jaguar. See the new model year lineup at jaguarusa.com. Cowboys take over on a fumble recovery at the end of Josh Freeman's scramble. He had one good one. This one wasn't as good, Mike.
Yeah, Anthony Spencer from behind was definitely trying to strip and rip, which he does. Rob Ryan does as good a job as coaching that as anybody. What did Rob tell us last night? They were going to get after LeGarrette Blount, but it's the same principle with anybody, especially a quarterback not used to being downfield.
After 7 turnovers last week in the loss to Jacksonville, there's the first one after they moved into Cowboy territory. Tony Romo's going to throw a screen back to Felix Jones. Jones all the way down to the 41. Offensively for the Dallas Cowboys. As we take a look at their lineup, there's their number 1 draft choice, Smith. Costa at center. The other side is Montre Holland and Doug Free. The All-Pro Jason Witten, the tight end. Along with Miles Austin and Des Bryant at the wideouts. Fiametta, the fullback, and Felix Jones, the tailback. With DeMarco Murray out last week with a broken ankle and out for the season. Quick slant, Des Bryant. Almost got loose. Talib brought him down, but it's a pickup of 16.
And that's it. What we're going to see all night long. Aqib Talib, their best cover guy, on Des Bryant.
They get the first down at the 26-yard line. Trying to take advantage of the fumble recovery on their opening march. Toss to Jones. Fullback in front of him. Got through the first wave. Got inside the 20. And he picks up 9.
Tyron Smith, the right tackle, their first-round pick, is one of the most gifted young linemen in the league. Watch him pull out. Tight end Bennett sets the edge. Now the big fella comes out, picks up a linebacker on the move, pushes him out, and Felix Jones, who had 22 touches last week in a very effective role, they've got to be able to make sure they don't overwork him, Brad.
Second and a yard. And Jones has got the first down, and he's got more. Down to the 10, it's going to be first and goal. Tough run.
Yeah, and Kyle Kozar, the right guard, did an excellent job getting up into the hole. He made Adrian Claiborne miss, and Here's my take on Felix Jones. Remember back to Arkansas.
Right.
He's in the backfield with who? McFadden and Peyton Hillis.
Yeah, pretty good, huh?
He always had a back split the load with him. He's not a primary guy that can handle 20 to 25 touches a game, or he will break down.
Witten, the motion man, one of 3 tight ends on the field. On 1st and goal, Romo throws on the run, and the ball is out at the end, but it was a completion to Felix Jones. Geno Hayes knocked it out of there, and it brings up 2nd down.
Yeah, I think Tony wanted to go to the corner of the end zone, but checked it down, and Geno Hayes, who's one of the quicker outside linebackers in football, nice job on the strip. Perfectly thrown football. 1 step, 2 step, has control. Definitely a fumble, but it goes out of bounds. Good job by Geno Hayes.
Des Bryant down to the bottom of your screen. Austin to the top on 2nd and goal. Tony Romo changing things up. They'll keep it on the ground, and they'll go down at the line of scrimmage. Jones no gain, 3rd and goal.
Good job by the linebacker. Geno Hayes, once again, he attacked the fullback and blew that play up. Really good job.
Tampa Bay's allowed 18 touchdown drives, long ones this year. 7th play of this drive, and it's 3rd and goal.
Kind of important for a young defense here, Brad. You know, they're one of the worst defenses in the league, number 31 in points allowed. Be huge after a turnover to hold this team to a field goal.
Tony Romo in the gun from the 8-yard line, 3rd and goal. Witten in motion. Romo scans the field, has plenty of time, and now running out of time. And throws into the end zone. Is it intercepted or caught? I don't see a signal, do you?
I think the refs are as confused as we are. If it's Miles Austin, I'm betting on him.
If it's Miles Austin, it's a touchdown.
This is entirely too much time to give Tony Romo. Let's see what happens. They're fighting all the way through. He certainly ends up with the football. The question is, where does he get control of it? In the end zone where he starts, right there, he's still fighting for the football. There's no control, I don't think, until it's somewhere in between the goal line and the 1 yard. We got a pretty good football game here, folks.
We got a review going on, too. We'll be right back. The call on the field was touchdown on the throw from Tony Romo to Austin.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
I don't see that again. I don't think he had full possession until now. The ball's clearly in the end zone at this point. Sean Jones is fighting for it. I don't think Austin has control until right then. And we have a different angle, like right here. Watch he and Jones fight for the football. They're still fighting. They're still fighting. He doesn't have it yet. He still doesn't have it yet. Now he has it. I disagree with that call.
The field judge is the guy that signaled touchdown on the field. It holds up, and Bailey's extra point makes it 7-0 Cowboys. Remember, Josh Freeman's fumble scooped up by Dallas, and then Tony Romo, his 27th touchdown pass of the year. Tomorrow on NFL Game Day morning, we'll break down the big Tim Tebow-Tom Brady matchup and be live at all the critical games with playoff implications. Don't miss Game Day morning tomorrow, starting at 9 Eastern, only on NFL Network. Tony Romo with his head coach peering over his shoulder after throwing the touchdown pass to Miles Austin. Controversial touchdown pass maybe, but nonetheless 7-0 to cap a 56-yard drive in 7 plays following the fumble recovery. Bailey Parker's going to take this one about 7 yards deep and take a knee. Let's take you back to that touchdown play, and I agree with you, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, despite what happened at the end of the play, the key is a veteran quarterback taking his time and not panicking against the 3-man rush. They're dropping 8. Look at him. He runs into his own. Montre Holland steps up, makes a throw. That's a veteran quarterback that understands with a 3-man rush, you can take your time, allow your guys to uncover, and I give Romo a ton of credit because I think he's playing at a higher level since that Detroit game than most people give him credit for.
He really had to fire that one to tuck it in there for the touchdown. He was 4 for 4 on the drive. Now Freeman, see if he can bounce back from the fumble. Blunt stops in the hole, goes the other way, and he's still going the other way. That's what he does so well, yards after contact. That's part of the problem with his fumbling, too, is he takes so many guys and carries them with him.
He's got 5 fumbles on the year, lost 3, more than any other running back in the league, but you're exactly right, Brad. Watch him drop the pad level and go. At this point, his legs are churning, and every Dallas Cowboy is trying to pull the football away from him. So it cuts both ways when you keep those legs moving like that.
And he's well aware of it. He talked about it this week. He said, I know they're trying to stand me up when I'm trying to drag him, and everybody else is trying to rip it out of there, as Sean Lee's trying to do right now. And Lee gets him down before he got to the first down marker, a yard shy. This guy's had a whale of a season at linebacker.
And you know, Ware is the second man in, and exactly what you just talked about, Brad. Since he's the second man in, he is trying to rip the football away. Bottom of your screen, he gets off Trueblood, number 94. Right there, look what he's stripping, pulling. That's what they're coached to do. Rob Ryan has been all over them, that if they keep doing that for 4 quarters, they're going to win the turnover battle.
2 tight ends set on 3rd down and 1. Kelly Winslow in motion, and Blunt's in the backfield. He's not going to get there thanks to Marcus Spears.
And he beats Jeremy Trueblood, the right tackle. If you're going to run this play, the right tackle can't get beat across his face. Watch right here. He gets beat across his face. And right there's the penetration, the good hit by Marcus Spears, forcing the 4th down. And Jeremy Trueblood has to know the only place you can't lose is inside.
Michael Kanan, you look behind him, the Tampa punter. First punt of the ball game, Des Bryant. It's back deep. And he'll take it at the 23. Couple steps back, and now heading to the near side. Got a block, and out of bounds as he's dragged out at about the 31-yard line. In Tampa, the Cowboys have a touchdown lead, and the football back when we return. Thursday Night Football Special Edition is brought to you by the 2012 Jeep Grand Cherokee and by DreamWorks Picture Warhorse in movie theaters this Christmas. Christmas is almost at hand. Happy holidays. Our Thursday Night Football from Tampa. Tony Romo, his career record, only 1 postseason win. They talk about his record in December, but it's not all Tony Romo's problem, that's for sure. He's already got a touchdown pass here in the first quarter. Looking for more on 1st down. And drops.
Wow. Catch football, huh?
Yeah. Miles Austin made the tough catch at the goal line and had one there, and he knows it.
Miles Austin is a guy right here in the slot. Watch him work up the field and then back away from the defensive back. Love the way he works back away. That's a veteran move. He does everything right, moving away from Tenard Jackson, except catch the football.
He looked it in, too. It just didn't stay in.
Got press man coverage on both edges with a single high safety.
Draw play inside Jones. That's going nowhere. The Cowboys 7-6, and Tony talked with us about how close it can be. A couple plays here and there, and it's not a 7-6 record.
2 games have come down to a kick. You know, it's as simple as that. You know, if sometimes we make a kick or don't, you can win or lose a game. If we get 1 stop, a guy catches a pass, a guy throws it here, 1 tackle, whatever. I mean, it can come down to that. So, you know, sometimes we want to make it bigger than what it is.
Well, a couple plays here and there, and it might not be a 7-6 record. Right now, they're facing 3rd down and 10.
2 deep safeties.
Romo steps up in the pocket and throws complete on the run to Witten. Wow.
Yep.
Big play on 3rd and long, and they get 28 out of it.
And this is Romo extending the play and giving Witten time to beat Rondé Barber. Now he's in the slot, and he's going to come across. Watch the quarterback, Romo, feel pressure, step up inside Bennett, keep the play alive, and a perfectly thrown ball on the run against pretty good coverage.
65th catch of the year by the All-Pro tight end. And a 1st down at the Bucs 41-yard line. Jones going to make a counter out of this on his own. Dancing through the hole. and down to the 38 as we check in with Alex.
Well, Brad, we're seeing two teams tonight who have both faced a fair amount of adversity. Tony Romo saying you can grow up an awful lot in one football season. Mike, you alluded to the Detroit game. You feel like Tony Romo has played better since then. Remember what he told us yesterday. He's not letting other people's mistakes become mine. He was trying to make up for other people's mistakes he felt prior to that game. After that game, he's not letting that happen to him anymore.
You know, what I see on tape, Alex, and what he said is he's not willing to compound mistakes anymore. And if a receiver runs the wrong route, throw it away. Don't try and make it right that play.
Fires near side, caught. First down inside the 30. Ron Robinson on that one. And Tony told us also, I'm trying to keep a calm mind. I like the way he explained that. I don't ever have a calm mind, so I appreciate someone that does.
And this kid's really stepped it up. Robinson, he's been cut by 4 teams. It's really good coverage. Now, did you see where the throw was, Brad? Away from the defensive back, Anthony Gator, on the sideline, allowing him to use his length and his body away from Anthony Gator.
Started his career with the Falcons for a couple of years and 2 years with the Rams, and now 47 catches here for the Cowboys. There's a toss sweep to Jones. And Rondé Barber, as he's done for 15 years, with a solid tackle.
Yeah, this is one of the most impressive men and football players I've met. It was fun talking to him yesterday. 15 years, still throwing the body. Look, he sees it, he trusts it, he beats Fiametta and makes the tackle. There aren't a whole lot of corners that will throw their body around like you see a 15-year veteran at age 36 beating a fullback and making the tackle. Love the fact that the helmet's right in the midsection. Beautiful tackle.
Sammy Morris in the Dallas backfield for the first time. He's going to get a swing pass out in the flats. And Morris, who wasn't even playing football a couple of weeks ago, picked up after DeMarco Murray broke his ankle, and he gets his hands on it here in the first quarter.
And that's an attitude play right there by a new player. He runs over Albert Mack, and what he's trying to do is announce to his teammates, I belong. I want to be one of you guys.
Defense, 12 men on the field. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Too many guys out there for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, there was one nowhere near Sammy Morris.
They have over 200 yards in penalty yardage more than their opponents this year. And that'll make a young head coach like Raheem Morris make that face that he just made.
Brad, this is 2 of the worst penalized teams in the National Football League. And it's not just Tampa. Every Cowboy coach and player we talk to, look at that. Dallas, 28th in the league. Tampa, 30th in the league. You implode internally when you give away yards.
With the walk-off on the penalty, the ball at the 24. And it's a draw play to Morris. And Morris with fresh legs inside the 10. Looks like a pretty good pickup, doesn't he?
Yeah, a little burst there, fresh legs. Fiametta got the block he needed to get that time against Mason Foster. Watch him get up in the hole here. This is the block he needed to get the last time. Because Mason Foster chose a side, it was easy for Morris to make his cut and get up the field.
And now a handoff inside again. It'll be second and goal inside the 8 for Morris. And Jason Garrett told us yesterday, I know Sammy, that's why we picked him up. We had him for a time when I was an assistant at Miami.
Yep.
And he said, I just trust him. He picks up the system quick. He said he's going to get some touches. I don't know if he knew he was going to get some touches this early in the ball game.
But he has to, because Felix Jones can't carry that load. And there's another, Clinton Portis was out there, Tiki Barber, Larry Johnson. You hit it on the head, Brad. It's the familiarity with the coach and the player.
9th play of the Dallas drive. Second down and goal. They're going to hand it off to Jones. He weaves his way down to the 3, maybe even closer. Sean Jones made sure he didn't get to the end zone.
Good job by Witten on the edge.
10th play coming up. He's covered 66 yards in 5.5 minutes. And with a touchdown lead, Cowboys knocking on the Bucs door again.
Yeah, and Raheem Morris knows his young team can't get down early in a game like this. We're already down 7. You got to make a play.
Des Bryant and Austin to the right. Ron Robinson up to the top of your screen. We got contact on Adrian Claiborne.
offense, number 82. 5-yard penalty, third down.
Jason Witten with a false start.
Don't see that too often out of the 9-year veteran out of Tennessee, one of the most complete tight ends in football. Now, if you're Tampa Bay, that gives you a shot. Third down, same yard line as that last touchdown, 8-yard line. You have to make a play here. This is a young team that went 10-6 last year, struggling this year.
They got some late pressure on Tony Romo the last time they were in this situation, but he still found Austin at the goal line.
Empty set. Haynesworth is not sure where to go. 4-man pressure. They're going to drop 7.
Third and goal. Romo fires to the end zone. Wide open touchdown, Des Bryant.
And that was a quarterback again making a play. Felt the pressure inside, rolled out. Got his young wide receiver to follow his eyes and throw him open. That's what coaches call it these days. Throw him open.
Well, he was definitely open. And even though it was a little bit of a juggle act at the end, for him, his 9th touchdown catch of the year. Bailey in for the point after.
Gone.
10 plays, 69 yards. The last 8. Tony Romo to Des Bryant. Cowboys 14-0. 14-0 Dallas. Our aerial coverage tonight presented by Southwest Airlines, and it is a gorgeous night in Tampa. If you're watching someplace where it's cold, wish you were here with us. There's a happy quarterback coach because of the start they had. They have controlled the entire first quarter. Bailey's kickoff deep again and again will not be returned by Preston Parker. Now at the end of the play, sometimes use your eyes or use your head. Dez did a little bit of both. Hit him right in the face mask. And then, as you would say, elbows together. Do a little juggling act. Hot potato, got it.
I would tell you one more thing. The Tampa guys kind of gave up when they saw him wide open.
Yeah.
And if they keep flying to the football, you got a chance to strip him. That's what I would say. After elbows together.
The Bucs have not thrown a pass yet. I think they're going to have to pretty soon.
And this has been a microcosm of their season. They get down and they want to play small ball, then they got to start throwing the football.
There's the first throw, and Stocker got whacked as soon as he caught him by Mike Jenkins, who stood him up and ran him out of bounds. As the first quarter is coming to a close. Cowboys knowing what they have to do. Win on the road, win 2 more, then win the division. Well, first 15 minutes, they have owned Tampa Bay. Cowboys on the road, end of 1, leading by 2 touchdowns.
Cowboys vs. Bucs in prime time on a special Saturday edition of Thursday Night Football.
Well, thank you, ladies. I don't think I could have said it with that kind of wow factor, but we welcome you to the second quarter of our special edition Thursday night on Saturday night here from Tampa. Brad Nessler, Mike Mayock, Alex Flanagan as we start the second quarter. Blunt going to be short of the first down, but he got about 4.
Blunt on the run.
Kenyon Coleman was in there to make the tackle. Tampa Bay started off gangbusters, really. They beat a couple of good teams, Atlanta and New Orleans. They started off 4-2. Then they went to London. They probably wish they'd stayed there because they've lost 7 straight. And now they find themselves in the predicament of having to defend their head coach. And a 4-9 mark, trying to snap a losing skid against a team that needs to win to keep their playoff hopes alive.
Remember, 3rd and 1 last time. They didn't get it. They've got to pick up a key 3rd down.
3rd and a couple. All 4 receivers in tight. Freeman scanning the field, running out of time. And now he's just got to get rid of it. Boy, must have been good coverage by the Dallas secondary because he had plenty of time.
Just a vanilla 4-man rush. Eventually Jason Hatcher is going to get to him. But you've got to win in the secondary. It's 4 men, 5 on 4. Look at the time he has. Scans right, comes left. Here comes Hatcher. Time to get rid of the football. Somebody's got to win in the secondary, and right now they don't have wide receivers doing that.
Kanan to punt. Second straight 3 and out for the Bucs. Des Bryant has to backpedal all the way to the 15. And steps out of bounds at the 23. About an 8-yard return of a 57-yard punt. Cowboys special edition Thursday Night Football leading by 2 touchdowns.
Why do I feel like this?
Thursday Night Football special edition is brought to you by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go. And by Pizza Hut's new Big Dinner Box. Get all your favorites in one epic box. First quarter, the Cowboys had it twice as long as the Bucs. They scored on 56 and 69-yard drives. And now here early in the second quarter, they've got it back at their own 23-yard line.
Go get set.
They fake the stretch play action for Romo. Throws back to his safety valve. Bennett, the tight end, he's wrestled down as he got to the 26-yard line. 2 big plays so far in this game, Mike, and they've led to 14 points.
In this league, there's a fine line between winning and losing. The first drive, doing what you want. His second scramble, but he doesn't protect the football. Turnover leads to a touchdown. Your right tackle gets beat inside. 3rd and 1, less than 1. Penetration kills you. Punt the football. All of a sudden, it's 14-0. Little things add up in this league, and right now, Tampa Bay's not good enough to take care of business.
And offensively, Tony Romo's hit 6 different receivers. Draw play this time to Jones. And Jones still battling. Didn't get much out of it, a couple of yards. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Last week, Jones came in when their very talented tailback DeMarco Murray went down. At 16 carries for 106 yards. That's over 6 yards a carry. Another 6 receptions for 31. That's a heavy load for him. 22 touches. Yeah. Too much.
DeMarco Murray, tough break for a kid that was playing lights out from week 7 until last week when he got hurt. He was the most productive back in the NFL. So we wish him well on his rehab, and Cowboys will miss him without a doubt. Sammy Morris, who came in, signed as a free agent in the backfield with Romo right now here on 3rd and 5.
Come on.
Throw across the middle is complete to Austin. He's got the first down as he's run out over the 35 to the 36-yard line.
They went with 2 high safeties, double covering the outside guys. So now you got to win inside because of the 2 high up here. And what do? You go to Miles Austin. He's got one-on-one, little whip route, works inside and then back out. I think Austin's one of the best route runners in the league. And then once he gets the football in his hands, he's so darn strong. He's one of the best run after catch guys.
And after dropping that one, Tony goes right back to him. And you saw that when he just snatched that one. There was never a doubt. A first down at the 36. Bucs thinking about a blitz.
A-gap pressure.
They're going to come with it. Romo in trouble. Just got to get rid of this one, although he did aim it out there for Morris.
They get pressure with safety. Sean Jones right up the middle, and that's fine. Get rid of the football.
Another look at Tony rolling out, knowing that the heat is at hand. And then having a guy in the area just getting rid of it. Brings up 2nd down and 10. Felix Jones back in. Austin is the motion man. Jones trying to follow his blockers, but there's not much there. Good job by the Bucs defense that time to close the door and get some guys around the football. Mason Foster and Sean Jones, 2 of them.
I had a conversation, Brad, on the field before the game with Miles Austin. He was just talking about him plucking the football. And first, I wanted to know about his hamstring, which he said is fine. But more importantly, it was kind of cool listening to him talk about Des Bryant, who was a first-round pick with all that fanfare, versus him at Monmouth College. And I said there were 32 teams at Dez's pro day. He looked at me and goes, Mike, there was 1 at mine.
He's doing just fine now.
It only takes 1 is what I told him.
Yeah.
Right here.
Perfect on their 3rd down conversions. They'll have to earn this one, though. 3rd down and 10. Romo, that one almost caught the second time by Witten. It went through the hands of Austin, and Witten on the back end almost caught the deflection. So the Cowboys will have to give it up for the first time.
That time he was working on Anthony Gator, and the ball was thrown just a little bit uncharacteristically high. Romo's a pretty accurate passer, completing over 65% of his passes, and then Witten on the back end, not expecting it.
Tony just sort of soared that one. McGuire to punt. Spurlock going the wrong direction. Alex Albright, second tackle on special teams for Dallas. 14-0 Cowboys, but the Bucs have got the ball back. Welcome those of you in Dallas-Fort Worth who have Time Warner Cable, and in Tampa who have Bright House to NFL Network Special Edition of Thursday Night Football. We know your cable companies are not offering NFL Network or NFL Red Zone, and we're glad you're able to join us on CW Channel 33 in Dallas-Fort Worth or WTTA MyTV Channel 38 here in Tampa. Tonight's game just a small part of our NFL coverage. Every Sunday we've got wall-to-wall coverage of the game starting at 9 a.m. with the NFL Game Day morning, and we get to the Super Bowl. NFL Network will have over 100 hours of coverage from Indianapolis, and we're excited about the possibility of more Thursday night games next season. So for Time Warner Cable and Bright House customers who want NFL Network, NFL is carried by DirecTV, Dish, AT&T, Uverse, Verizon, Fios, and hundreds of other distributors. Glad you're with us tonight, though, from Tampa, where the Bucs have got to dig themselves out of a little bit of a hole here with 10:31 remaining in the second quarter. Look out, Josh Freeman. Good.
There he is.
Rush by DeMarcus Ware. There's sack number 16.
Working on Donald Penn, who had a bad week last week against Mincy. And if you think Mincy was good, wait till you get a hold of this guy. You got to get back. There's the kick slide, the dip, the rip, the strip. It gets no better. 16th sack of the season. I looked him right in the eye last night and said, I played with a guy named Lawrence Taylor, and your get-off and quickness is the closest thing I've seen to him.
That was fast. And a loss of 6. Freeman. He's going to go down again.
See, this is why they play small ball here in Tampa. They want to run the football. They can't protect their quarterback. They're going to bring Skandrick off the slot right here. It's a blitz. They're not going to hold up. Here comes linebackers inside. Brady James, step up, protect the football. Skandrick gets a piece. Brooking finishes it.
Keith Brooking, the old veteran, still playing tough. And now it's third down a whole bunch. Not the situation the Bucs wanted to get themselves in after finally forcing the Cowboys to punt. Third and 20. Freeman, screen pass to Lumpkin. Greg Lumpkin got back around the original line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Flags fly at the end of the play.
Yeah. Don't be standing around piles at the end. Keep your head on a swivel because people are flying on a screen pass.
Pass interference. Offense number 19. Penalties decline. Fourth down.
Offensive pass interference on Mike Williams. So another costly penalty. Although declined, and it'll force the Tampa Bay punt. Third straight 3 and out now for the Buccaneers. Des Bryant backpedals, waiting on the punt. Kanan hit his last one 57 yards. And this one going to bounce in front of Bryant. He'll take it on the hop at the 18. Trying to get to the other side. Might have a block right there illegally. And even with that, great coverage by Tampa Bay. Way back around the 10-yard line.
They let Victor Butler get away from it with one, I thought. This is what you referenced, Brad. No flags.
So they put the Cowboys in a hole back at the 11-yard line. But Dallas has a 2-touchdown lead. Thursday Night Football Special Edition is brought to you by Verizon, the official wireless service provider of the NFL. And by Kia Motors and the new 2012 Kia Optima. It's not your average midsize sedan. Don't forget, vote for your favorite players for the 2012 Pro Bowl in Hawaii. You can vote online or with your mobile device at NFL.com/Pro Bowl or text Pro Bowl to MyNFL. Get your vote in today. At the 11-yard line, Cowboys leading by 2 touchdowns. Felix Jones broke a couple of tackles and popped it out across the 15-yard line. Running behind an offensive line, Mike, that has got a number 1 draft choice in there, and Tyron
Defense
Smith.
number 90. Yeah, 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
They needed to get younger and quicker in this offensive line, and they started that process with Tyron Smith as a first-round pick out of USC. He's playing right tackle, which is what he played in college. Watch him pull, get to the second level. Some of the best feet I've ever seen for a young offensive tackle. Look at the rush, the outside speed. He sits into it, he's patient, he attacks from the inside out. That probably was a 5-second block. And then in the run game against Daquan Bowers, uses the correct leverage from the inside out, flips his hips. That kid's got all pro written all over him.
Got a long career ahead of him, too. He just turned 21 on Monday. Romo throws complete, caught. Robinson stretching out for a first down. Nice job at the end by LaRon Robinson to use those long arms and pick up the first down.
Yeah, I would expect that. Now let's see what happens with Doug Free on the left side. Claiborne, good job pushing him in and then feeling the corner blitz from Barber. That's an excellent job by Doug Free. They just paid him big money to be a top 10 type left tackle. I'm not sure he's a top 10 tackle. As a matter of fact, Brad, I would think next year they're going to flip-flop those tackles because Tyron Smith just has too much upside.
And I think it might be the play clock that's the issue here. It was down to 0. And the Cowboys had not taken that much time.
The play clock is not set correctly. Please set it to 25 seconds.
Well, now we got it straightened out. 7:25 remaining. Tony Romo 10 out of 13 with a couple of touchdowns already. And there's Tyron Smith, the 2 rookie offensive tackles start every game this year. He came into our meeting last night. He has got the most mangled looking right ring finger I've ever seen in my life. And he's got gigantic hands, and when you got a bad finger, it shows up. He said, "Oh, we'll worry about it at the end of the year." Here's the stretch to Jones. Oh, popped out the backside. He's got great speed if he gets a block. Felix Jones straight up the middle and all the way to the 25-yard line. Rondé Barber saves a touchdown.
You want to talk about a burst off that right side behind Tyron Smith and Gozar. When he gets a hole like that, there are few people with the acceleration. Watch when he gets to the hole. See between right there. When he bursts and accelerates, there are very few running backs in the league anywhere near that. Good kick-out block by Tyron Smith. Gozar closes it, seals to the inside. Wow. That's acceleration, folks.
38 yards in a hurry. Now to the 25. Morris now will give Felix a breather after that long run. He's in a tailback for the Cowboys. Tony Romo on first down. Fires complete. A strike out to Martellus Bennett, the tight end.
We got a couple of brothers in this game. Tight end Martellus Bennett.
Michael on the other side playing defensive end for the Bucs.
And Martellus is one of the most gifted athletes drafted at tight end in the last several years. Has not turned into what they hoped he would be. He's gifted. They tried to force feed him the football, and I'm not sure he's got that work ethic and passion for the game necessary to develop at the next level.
Some of the family members here to support him are wearing the split jerseys, half Cowboys, half Bucs. First and 10, Dallas trying to add to its 2-touchdown lead here with 5.5 to go in the quarter, and Sammy Morris spinning his way down inside the 10.
You know, we were talking about Tyron Smith, and the thing I liked about him, and he was very quiet and respectful, but when we asked him, what have you learned this year? What's the best thing you've learned? He said, Jason Babin from the Eagles in that wide 9 alignment beat me a couple times on a spin move, and what I learned is that I've got to be patient and sit and wait instead of overextending, and I think what we've shown you so far tonight is he learned that lesson well.
7th play of the Cowboy drive. They can get a first down at the 4. Romo with a blitz coming. Incomplete. Jason Witten, I think, was the closest guy, and Tony Romo took a shot at the end of that play.
And I like the throw. I like the play by Romo because Barber came untouched. Look at Barber here, comes right up here untouched. Get rid of the football. He knows his tight end's in the vicinity. He took the shot, but he protected the yardage. That's a veteran quarterback right there.
Now he faces 3rd and 5 at the 9. Two tight ends, 3 wideouts. Romo in an empty set. Rolling. He's going to throw at the last moment. He's got another touchdown. LaRon Robinson. And Romo's thrown 3 scoring tosses. This one 9 yards.
And that's all 3 of them he extended the play. All of them were from either the 8 or 9 yard line, and every single one of them, he moved in the pocket, extended the play, and I don't care how good you are on the back end. When a quarterback can give his wide receiver that much time to uncover, it's difficult. Watch him. Escapes to the right. Now it's all offense. You kidding me? Nice move in the back of the end zone by LaRon Robinson. Very similar to the one Des Bryant made in his last touchdown.
Dan Bailey, point after. Good. Cowboys first half, good. Tony Romo, better than good. 3rd touchdown pass. Dallas, 21-0. Cowboys have had big leads before this year, Mike.
27-3, second quarter. First of 3 interceptions. Bobby Carpenter, pick 6. Again, this time Chris Houston, pick 6. Get it in the 4th quarter off his back foot up high. Stephen Tulloch undercuts the route. 3rd pick. Lions come from way behind to upset the Cowboys.
It's the last really bad game that guy's had, though, tonight. An almost perfect first half. 3 touchdown passes, all coming on 3rd down.
You know, we talk about him being on the wrong side of that Brett Favre gunslinger thing, and I think the kid's learned how to play the game and playing at a much higher level than he gets credit for.
I agree with you, 100%. Parker from the 1 this time, getting a chance to return and doing so out to the 25-yard line. So 4:35 for the Bucs to try to do something about this. That last touchdown drive, 89 yards, is the 19th touchdown drive allowed by the Tampa Bay defense of 80 yards or more this year.
So what do you do if you want to fire the defensive coordinator?
Well, he's the head coach. There's a problem there. Who's going to call the plays? The defensive plays, that is.
You know, I feel badly for this Tampa group because there was so much excitement. 10-6, one of the youngest teams in the league. This kid Freeman playing lights out. The defense played well, and the whole thing's falling apart this year. There are some components here you can win with, though.
Very, very young team. The things that went well last year are not going well this year so far. Blunt, and he hasn't been able to get anything going offensively on the ground either. Keith Brooking on the bottom of the pile again. 8 rookies, 12 guys in their 2nd year, 8 in the 3rd. That's some youth.
And youth cuts both ways. Last year was exciting and fun, and they played well. This year, what did we hear from some of the veterans? Maybe not enough veteran presence. You lose an Ernest Grant.
Yep.
You lose Cadillac Williams, guys that calm a locker room down during a losing streak. It's tough with a bunch of young guys when you lose 7 in a row. Trust me on that one.
2nd and 8. Fake the end around and go straight ahead with Blunt, and he only got about a yard. Marcus Spears has had a good first half defensively for Dallas. Bucs offense, no first down since 13 minutes remained in the 1st quarter. And remember, it was Josh Freeman's scramble that got him a first down and got him out around midfield on their opening drive. But the second time he took off with it, he was stripped of the ball. That led to a Dallas touchdown. The Cowboys have added 2 more since, all scoring passes by Tony Romo, and that's where we sit, 21-0.
Sooner or later, they got to challenge Newman here, especially on double moves.
That would be Mike Williams down there on the bottom right now, and now Freeman's going to have to call a timeout.
They're frustrated. Look at him.
Frustrated coach, too. So Josh Freeman and the Bucs offense facing a 3rd and 8 here after the timeout as he steps back into the huddle. He told us yesterday, he says, something's changed with our mentality. I don't know what it is. And he says, I have to realize I have to control what I have to control. Right now, he couldn't control what was going on out there, and that's why they call the timeout.
Yeah, Fain up front, Zuda. There was a disagreement about pass protection. You can see the discussion with Penn and Zuda right now. Forced a timeout by the quarterback because, let's face it, you've got to take ownership in pass protection or you're going to get your butt whooped every time.
1 for 4 on 3rd down conversions. Cowboys thinking about a blitz. They're going to bring one. Freeman. Ooh, that could have been a really bad mistake. Lumpkin couldn't handle it. Was set up as sort of a middle screen, or I don't know what that was.
Yeah, Lumpkin ended up trying to make a block and get off his knees. He's right here. DeMarcus Ware's right in the middle. See, they move him around. Now he's coming outside. But watch the tailback step up, hit Sean Lee, get knocked down. Dangerous throw by Freeman.
4th straight 3 and out as Kanan set to punt again. Fielded at the 34, and Des Bryant lost yardage on the last punt return and only got about 4 on that one. That guy's some kind of football player. Marcus Ware, he's caused havoc in the Tampa Bay backfield tonight, and on the other hand, Dallas just about perfect, Mike, on offense tonight.
Offense, defense, and special teams. Right. You know, offensively, I think Romo, aside from one high pass, has been phenomenal. The big run by Felix Jones. Defensively, they can't protect their quarterback. Josh Freeman's been absolutely beleaguered, and of course, DeMarcus Ware's had a big piece of that.
This is just the medicine the Cowboys needed after that loss to the Giants last Sunday night. Still got a half to play, but they've got a 21-point lead here. Nice catch out in the flat by Felix Jones. One-handed it and got it to the 45-yard line.
Smiling. They're having fun right now. 2-game losing streak, Brad. There's been an awful lot going on about that field goal kicker and icing your own kicker. Good catch right there. But
well, they got to December with a 4-game winning streak and 0-2 so far in December, but well on their way to the first win in December if they keep playing like this.
Pull it! Gotta go. Which way you going?
2nd and 3, extra pressure coming. Pass is complete to Austin, spins around, got a first down, a stiff arm and out of bounds in Buccaneer territory.
You know, young teams, when they get frustrated, one of the first things that goes is tackling. And Albert Mack has a chance here. There's the catch. Now all you can do is tackle him in the open field. He runs right through it again. Great job. 2 missed tackles in 1 play.
Talked about wanting to get back to fundamentals. The fundamentals are breaking down again on the Buccaneers. Tony Romo breaking the Dallas huddle at the 2-minute mark in Tampa territory at the Bucs 46 and already leading by 3 scores.
3 timeouts available to them. Plenty of time for Romo. And some criticism with clock management over the last several weeks on the Cowboys offense.
Set 3 different receivers with touchdowns in the first half. Blitz coming. This one thrown inside the 40. Got a quick slant to Des Bryant. Cowboys going to come up to the line without a huddle. As Mike said, they've got their full complement of timeouts.
And that was stealing right there against DJ Bigler's one-on-one coverage, no help.
59.
Tony in the shotgun, 1st and 10. Looks right, now comes down the middle, complete. Witten's got it inside the 15.
Great catch.
22 yards.
I like how he secured the catch. Didn't try to catch the low ball and run with it. He went down low, secured it, made the big play.
Down inside the 14-yard line. Cowboys looking for more. Just over a minute to go in the half. The Bucs will blitz. Romo across the middle again, complete. Austin fighting his way to the 4.
Tenard Jackson is playing way off. Austin's got a 2-way go on him. Boy, I don't know. That's just stealing.
And a timeout taken by the Cowboys. And with a timeout, 50 seconds remaining till halftime. Let's check in with Rich Eisen. Rich?
Well, Brad, we're giving more trips away to Hawaii at halftime on the Kia Motors Halftime Show. Join me and the gang as we've got the special code. Someone's going to get warm. Someone's going to a beach. Someone's going to the Pro Bowl. And we'll also talk about Belichick and Tebow. Right now, back to the tap dance kids, guys.
Okay, Rich. He's got the code. As Hank Graham used to say, he's got the chalk.
He also got a little bit of a sassy walk.
Yeah,
too,
he does. He does.
I think he walks faster than his 40-yard dash time at the combine.
Look at what the Cowboys have done in the first half. Tony Romo almost perfect. Felix Jones 68 yards. And Austin, one of 3 guys that's caught a touchdown in the half.
Remember, Keith Talib still on the bench with a pulled hamstring.
Second down and a yard, 4 yards from the end zone.
Here we go. Come on, Bill.
Draw play, Jones, and the Bucs had that one snipped out pretty well. Michael Bennett made the first contact, one of the Bennett brothers, and dropped him for a loss of a yard.
Really good job by Michael Bennett, who I like as a stout point of attack guy.
Tony Romo will go over to talk to Jason Garrett with the timeout.
You know, I'm really enamored of the way Romo has gotten to the 3 touchdowns tonight. And it's all about a veteran quarterback having the patience, 3-man rush, using his feet, keeping a play alive, extending it, and then letting a wide receiver make a play. Watch him roll to his right. Good block by Tyron Smith. Throw open, Dez Bryant in the back of the end zone. This might look familiar. Roll to your right. This time, throw LaRon Robinson open. Force the defender up. Throw it to the back of the end zone. That's a veteran quarterback that's a great athlete, taking advantage of his feet and making plays.
Playing great the last 3 weeks and playing great tonight on 3rd down. He's 5 out of 6 on 3rd down tonight.
Timeout Tampa Bay. They went empty on them, and I don't think Tampa liked what they were in from a coverage perspective.
30-second timeout.
A 30-second timeout here. Special edition of Thursday night here on this Saturday night. Next week, back to Thursday. Houston Texans, one of the surprise stories of the season. Ryan Cushing, Arian Foster, and the Texans go to Indy looking for a win and home field advantage in the playoffs. Hope you join us. Texans Colts, Thursday night, 8 o'clock Eastern, only on NFL Network.
How about the way T.J. Yates has stepped in there?
Yeah.
I was at his pro day at North Carolina last year. He was an afterthought. I've never seen a quarterback make more throws at a pro day, and it was because it wasn't about him. He had Greg Little and running backs, and amazing how many throws he made.
Keith Millard is really upset. He's a defensive line coach for the Bucs, and he doesn't like what he sees out there still after the timeout. 3rd down and 2.
They're confused. They've got no idea. Now they just changed it to zone.
Romo throws, goal line, caught, but not a touchdown. Ogletree got inside the 1, though. 30 seconds remaining. Dallas at 1 timeout left.
And this is where he's got to call it at the line of scrimmage.
1st and goal. He's going to try to do it himself, and does. Touchdown. Just get it in my hands, and I'll try to get us the yard. So he's thrown 3, and now he's run for 1.
Coverage and went to zone. Guys are running, and look at everybody talking. Look at Mason Foster, who's the quarterback of the defense, and all of a sudden they're tapping their helmets, they're screaming, they're yelling, they check out a man, they go zone, they force the check down, but really good job by Tony Romo getting his team up on the ball and the quarterback sneak.
Bailey's extra point is good. It's been a all-pro looking first half for number 9. Capping a 62-yard drive that time. On the 8th play, Tony Romo does it himself. His first rushing touchdown of the year from a yard out. Yep, things are going pretty well.
I was surprised he didn't take the timeout there. They've got 1 left, and it was a 4th down play. Romo just took it upon himself to get up over the ball and sneak it.
The soon-to-be, well, not soon-to-be, but the expected father, Tony Romo, who says a boy is on the way to the Romo family in April.
kind of interesting when everybody that walked in the room who we complimented on their suit, what did they say?
Yep, that white dress.
The white dress. You think about these big pro football players and coaches and all, and they're all still slaves to their wives.
Happy group of Cowboys, still a half to play, but on the other side, Khalib and the Bucs defense has been shoved around with 4 long touchdown drives by the Cowboys.
How about 279 yards of total offense and 20 minutes of possession? You want to talk about domination? Yeah. That's ugly, man.
And a squib kick. Live ball. Somebody got on top. I think it was the tight end. And we're down to 17 seconds remaining in the half. The Cowboys trying to go to 8-6. The playoff picture again. That's how it looks. And of course the Giants are over there at 7-6 in the left-hand column. That's because they beat the Cowboys last Sunday night. But there could be a switch. If the Cowboys win out, they'd win the division. There's the remaining schedule right now, halfway through the Buccaneers, and then Eagles and at Giants. And the Giants don't have to leave their home stadium, even though it's at Jets. Of course, it's at the same place.
They're 2 really good games next week. The Giants and the Jets in the building they share. And then, of course, Dallas looking for retribution against Philly, who beat them 34-7 earlier this year.
And the Bucs are hearing it from their fans right now. Trailing 28-0 at the break. Into the first half. Stay tuned. Kia Motors halftime show. Rich and the guys will be coming up shortly. Dallas on the road and rolling big, 28-0.
Winning is not a sometimes thing. It's an all-the-time thing.
Throws. It's a touchdown.
Every time a football player goes to play, every inch of it has to play.
Fires. Touchdown. Des Bryant.
Any man's finest hour. His greatest fulfillment. So all he holds dear
is that moment
when he's worked his heart out
and lies exhausted
on the field of battle. Victorious.
Victorious.
The Cowboys halfway to a victory on our special edition Thursday Night Football. Start of the third quarter coming up, 28-0 Dallas, as we take a look at the first half game summary presented by the Adventures of Tintin. And as you look at it, total domination by the Cowboys. 1 penalty, 20 minutes time of possession. Yeah, it's been that kind of half. In fact, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the third play of the game is the last time they had a first down. That's not good.
No, and DeMarcus Ware, to me, again, if you're going to talk about defensive domination, you start with him with the Dallas Cowboys. And you talk about setting an edge. What does that mean on defense? Look at Ware working against the tight end. Sets the edge, forces him back inside, throws him off, gets a piece. This is what he does best against Donald Penn. Dip, rip, get under, and try and strip the football. That's DeMarcus Ware at his best. And that's who they're going to need on the drive to the playoffs.
So far, they're halfway to their 8th win, which would keep them in that drive. As we check in with Alex.
Hey, Brad. Well, Jason Garrett determined not to blow a big first-half lead by telling his players to focus on each and every play. Meanwhile, Raheem Morris telling me that this is a gut check right now, that his team better stand up or they don't, saying that his quarterback has been hit way too many times in the first half and that his team needs to hit Dallas Cowboys quarterback Tony Romo in the second half if they want a chance.
Boy, the Bucs offense, 17 plays, 55 yards. 25 of that came on one play, and that was Freeman's run. And then the second time he ran, he fumbled, and that led to the first touchdown. And the avalanche of points by the Cowboys in that half. And the Cowboys get the hold on the football to start the third quarter, but they'll have to do it at the 20-yard line. Ogletree takes a knee. Tony Romo will trot him back out.
12!
Second largest lead at halftime, franchise history on the road. Wow.
You know, I kind of agree with what Raheem told Alex as far as the gut check.
Yeah.
And if you go back a week, they had a 14-0 lead to Jacksonville. And then 41-point avalanche later. They're on the short end of a 41-14 game. They come out here tonight. It's 28 at half. So what's 41 plus 28?
That's a lot.
69? 69 consecutive? That's not good.
No, it's not. Good math, by the way, on your part. First offensive snap of the third quarter. Felix Jones is going to rumble all the way out. Close to a first down, but a flag down. 2, in fact, in the Dallas backfield.
Offense number 77.
That's the right
Half the
tackle.
distance and goal. First down.
Yeah, you bragged him up, and look what happened.
I did, and Martellus Bennett, I thought, did a great job on the edge, but what happened was Tyron Smith was worried about penetration and grabbed a hold of Daquan Bowers.
So that backs it up to the 10. One quarterback having a brilliant night and one not. Wow.
Let's go. Under. 180.
Tony Romo pumps one way and then trying to come back to a screen pass and hit one of the Bucs right in the backside, and it's Albert Hainsworth. He's got a big backside.
If we're counting backside, you're right. He's in the top 10 in the league.
Picked up after being released by the Patriots.
I like what Raheem Morris told us about backsides the other day. He said that Derek Brooks used to say about his defensive tackles, you had to know where their backsides were for the proper gap integrity.
Looking for the butts in the right places.
Exactly.
Second and 20.
Kill. Let's go. 180. Go.
Blitz coming off the corner. The run goes the other way, and the blitz pays off. Only a yard gain for Jones.
You know, and Dallas has got to guard against being complacent here, which is a difficult thing to do. They come out, first play is a hold. Second play, Tony Romo throws a screen pass into the back of a Tampa Bay defender in the shadow of his own goal line. This is not a good way to start if you're Dallas. Clean and efficient.
For Tampa Bay, it's a great start if they can stop this 3rd and long. That's Aqib Talib, and he's not even in uniform anymore. At least not half of the uniform. 3rd and 19. Romo, look out from behind. Claiborne got him, and the Bucs have the ball, and a touchdown. Dakota Watson. The Cannons finally get the fire from the Bucs defense.
Totally unimpressive by the Dallas Cowboys, but give Tampa Bay credit, especially Claiborne, the first-round pick, working against Doug Free. Right here. Too quick on the edge. Good job with hand placement, but what I like even more is relentless effort by Claiborne. Romo's got to be more aware. Inside your own 10-yard line, you've got to be aware. 2 hands on the football. Great job by Adrian Claiborne.
And you see Rondé Barber helping him to the end zone. A 4-yard return for a touchdown. And Tony Romo's had a perfect night. It's not perfect anymore. Makes his first mistake. And the Bucs finally have something to build on. Early here in the 3rd quarter. Big defensive play by the Buccaneers. And the end result, they cut it to 28-7. Thursday Night Football Special Edition is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And delivered by Papa John's, the official pizza sponsor of the National Football League. Tomorrow, after the late afternoon games, Deion Sanders and Steve Mariucci join Rich Eisen to recap all the day's action and give you a preview of Sunday Night Football. Watch game day highlights just like these tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern on NFL Network. That's the highlight of the night so far for the Bucs as they cut the lead to 28-7. Adrian Claiborne there, #1 pick out of Iowa with a big defensive play. Kick, Ogletree steps on the back line, and Dallas will start from the 20. And they regressed from the 20 last time they had it on the first snap. And then ended up the Bucs getting their first touchdown of the night.
Yeah, as sloppy as you could play offensively, quite a contrast to what we saw in the first half.
Completely different, yeah.
Here we go.
So he's accounted for all 4 touchdowns. A 1-yard run, 2 8-yard touchdown passes, and a 9-yarder. Let's see if the sleepwalking from coming out of the locker room goes away for Dallas on this possession. The stretch to Jones. And Felix, big hit, but still got 9. Quincy Black, the linebacker, finally brought him down. He's had some tough runs tonight.
Really has. Nobody's ever questioned his toughness. It's just durability, which is different. You know, I think Tampa Bay really feels like they got a steal in last year's draft with the 2 first picks, both defensive ends. Claiborne was a guy that had top 10 grades heading into his senior year, had a rare shoulder arm issue that would prevent him from playing both sides of the line of scrimmage. He slid a little bit because of that in the first round.
And then Daquan Bowers, their second-round pick, he's in there right now. Out of Clemson, who led the nation in sacks last year, and he's in on this play, along with Roy Miller. Those 2 guys combined for the stop. Of course, Gerald McCoy is out, and they could really use him. That front 4 that they had set up, or at least the way they drafted, they expected to have a bunch of young guys to be together for a long time.
Yeah, Brian Price was a second-round pick 2 years ago. The same year McCoy was the first. So if McCoy's healthy and Price is healthy, combined with Bowers and Claiborne, there's on the left side right there is McCoy. I thought he was having a special year. There's Mark Dominic, the general manager, tied at the hip with Raheem Morris. But I thought they have an opportunity, Brad, to have a dominant front 4 if those kids can grow and stay healthy.
Blitz coming, quick slant, bobbled, and I think caught by Des Bryant.
No.
Got one hand on it.
No.
He caught it.
I think he caught it.
They ruled it. The 2 refs running in ruled it no. Be interesting to see. E.J. Biggers gets the hand in there. Great concentration, though.
Now watch the left hand.
Yep.
Right.
Get the elbows close.
Still scooping.
Hit the elbows.
Still
there
scooping.
It is. Scoop it, big boy.
That's a catch.
Wait a minute. Does he hold it? I don't know. That looked like a catch. Nash, you were all over that. Let's switch seats. Yeah.
Well,
there it is.
Finally, the whistle blows. I don't see it touch the ground.
You called it, Ness.
Well, we'll take a look at it. Sort it out.
But the pass is complete.
Jerry Jones looking on. Ruling out the field was incomplete pass, but look one more time, or about 6 more times.
Ness, you take it, buddy. You called it.
After a year, the receiver completed the catch. The ball never hit the ground. It was second down on the 35.5 yard line.
That's a heck of a catch. Watch him close his knees. You talk about closing the elbows. Look at it. The knees keep it up, and then he scoops it.
Remember, on the touchdown catch, he used his face mask and then juggled it about 3 times and caught it. And Tony's saying he caught that thing, and Des is saying, you're darn right I did.
Yeah, man.
So, one of the greatest 6-yard pickups you'll ever see, or 5-yard pickups, I should say. 2nd and 5 at the 36.
Go 59. 180. 170.
A toss. Jones trying to get to the corner. He won't get there. Claiborne, another nice play by the rookie.
This is called a misdirection toss. The defensive end has to have tremendous discipline and then agility. They're going to watch what happens here. He stays home. And then he's got the ability to flip his hips, stay low, and track down a very quick tailback. That is an excellent play by Adrian Claiborne.
First player from Iowa ever drafted by the Bucs franchise, and he is going to be a good one for a long time.
He's relentless. You put the tape on at Iowa, and just what a football player he was, both in the run and pass game.
This would be another big stop for the Bucs. They not only stopped the 3rd down last time, they scored a touchdown on it. Romo, this time it'll be a first down on a run to Austin, and into Bucs territory at the 48-yard line. Good throw on 3rd and 8, 19-yard pickup.
Beat the dime corner. They call him EMAC, Albert Mack from Troy, 4th-year player. Once you beat him inside, that nickel defender, you win. That's why I think playing inside on the slot's the toughest man-to-man position on the field. It's an automatic 2-way go. You don't have the sideline to help you.
You might have seen that Tony put that right over the outstretched hand of Rondé Barber, who jumped in there to try to get a hand on that ball before it ever got to the Dallas receiver, but couldn't do it. Toss sweet, Sammy Morris. Morris broke a tackle, and inside the 40. Another tough run by the guy that just joined the Cowboys this week.
Having some fun now. Sammy Morris was cut by the Patriots late in training camp. Toss sweep. Tyron Smith does a good job on the edge, pushing out Geno Hayes, and then you run through the arm tackle of Michael Bennett and accelerate. Bang.
Sammy, 31 yards on 4 carries. Not a bad night. For a guy that's only been around about 5 days.
Pretty good start, man, and they're going to need him throughout whatever playoff run they can make.
Second down, a long one. Blitz, draw, Morris. First down, carrying Bucs with him inside the 35. As we check in with Alex.
Hey, Brad, I think Sammy Morris, as surprised as all of us are to be here on the field for the Dallas Cowboys, said that he had kind of resigned himself, that he had played his last game in the National Football League after the Patriots cut him back in the summer after training camp. Does have a familiarity, as you mentioned, with Jason Garrett. Not only was Jason his coach with the Miami Dolphins, the two played together. They were teammates in 2004. Garrett, the quarterback, and Sammy Morris, the running back. So he knew some of the terminology, so he's kind of fit right in here.
34-year-old in his 12th year out of Texas Tech, having a good night here. On first down, counter play. Jones finds a hole and bursts through it. What a run down to the 20. Didn't look like there was anything there, but he showed great patience and waiting for the hole to open.
You called it exactly right, Brad Nessler. The right guard. Watch Kozer come around and gets delayed. And because of the delay right here, trying to get around the defender, there's the patience, allows the block to be made, and then there's nobody quicker from a standstill than Felix Jones. There it is, direct traffic, let Kozar get up there, and then bang, stick your foot in the ground and go.
He gets from 0 to 60 in a hurry, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, like one of those fancy cars of yours.
First down at the 20. Toss to Jones, right side. Made one guy miss and then slipped. Rondé Barber, though, is the guy that helped him slip.
Exactly, and it was the same thing Barber did in the first half, which is why I marvel at Rondé Barber at age 36, the way he throws his body around. You know what I think of when I look at him? I think those old Tampa 2 teams that Tony Dungy had that went to the Super Bowl. You had Warren Sapp at the 3 technique. That means he's playing over the guard. You had Derek Brooks at the weak backer, John Lynch at safety, and Rondé Barber was the nickel. That was as good a nickel package defense in the history of the NFL.
6 tackles for Rondé tonight. Romo got some pressure, but he still stuck it in there to Witten. Down to the 12, short of the first down by about a yard.
A really good veteran move here. Looks out to the right, comes back. He knows he's got his own. He works his tight end back underneath. And what his head works, Tony Romo's head works to the right. There's the step inside.
And of course, that's a great combination, Romo to Witten. They've been doing that a long time. Put together a lot of Pro Bowls for Witten with the receptions from Tony. In fact, 401 now. Wow. Carol Owens had caught 199 from Tony. Somebody's going to catch another one, maybe. That's a wobble duck, though. Somebody must have got a hand out of that. Miles Austin, the intended receiver. Tony can only smile.
A disconnect there, not dissimilar to the one last Sunday night when the Cowboys thought they had Dallas put away and they ran a seam route and Austin was wide open and lost it in the lights. And they made that connection, the game was over.
Exactly. But field goal try coming up for Dan Bailey, who's 31 out of 35 on the year. The rookie try a 30-yarder to add to the Cowboy lead, and does.
Good job.
But the Bucs don't give up another touchdown, at least 31-7. We welcome those of you in Dallas-Fort Worth who have Time Warner Cable, and in Tampa who have Bright House to NFL Network Special Edition of Thursday Night Football. We know your cable companies are not offering NFL Network or NFL Red Zone, but we're glad you're able to join us on CW Channel 33 and WTTA MyTV Channel 38 here in Tampa. Tonight's game just a small part of our NFL coverage every Sunday. We've got wall-to-wall coverage of all the games starting at 9 a.m. with NFL Game Day morning. And we'll have 100 hours of coverage from the Super Bowl in Indianapolis. We're going to have possibility of extra games next year on the NFL Network. For Time Warner Cable and Bright House customers who want NFL Network is carried by DirecTV, Dish, AT&T, UVerse, Verizon, Fios, and hundreds of other distributors. Wherever you might be watching tonight, welcome you back to Tampa, where it's 31-7 with 6:38 remaining in the third quarter. Brad Nessler, Mike Mayock, Alex Flanagan with you from Raymond James Stadium. From the goal line, Preston Parker. Parker across the 20 out to the 24-yard line. A little extracurricular at the end of the play. Tampa Bay still hasn't gotten their offense in gear. Their touchdown came by defense. We'll see if they can change that when we come back. Mike, in the last 40 minutes of real time, the Bucs offense has only run one play, and that was a kneel down by Josh Freeman before the end of the half. I mean, they've been in the locker room, they've been on defense, they scored on defense, but his numbers and the frustration of a young quarterback, you can see the difference and what a difference a year makes.
Yeah, and I think we ought to talk about it a little bit. It doesn't all come down on that young quarterback.
See if we can get some kind of offense going here with 6.5 remaining in the third quarter.
Abram Elam's coming off the edge here unless they might check out of it. Nope, here it comes.
Freeman steps up and steps right into a sack. Lismore and a loss of 5.
Yeah, nice job picking up the blitzer, but Lismore comes up the middle. Guy that's getting more and more snaps with Rob Ryan's defense. Working against Zuda. Second-year player from William & Mary is playing what they call the 5 technique, the defensive end, but also taking some snaps for Jay Ratliff inside as Ratliff gets older.
Rob Ryan thought that his 4-man rush all night could get enough pressure on Freeman, and pretty much has. Back at the 19, 2nd and 16.
There's a 3-man rush.
Freeman throws, Kellen Winslow with a catch.
Ness, we were talking about Freeman. Why the interceptions this year after such a big sophomore year a year ago? And I think it's several things. I think he was trying to fit it in too often to Kellen Winslow. Eight of his interceptions were targeted there. I think secondly, they've gotten behind in games like this, and they've been forced to throw the football. They're not built to do that. And most importantly, I don't see vertical speed anywhere on this team. Running back, wide receiver, and what happens, the defense compresses the area. It's almost like playing in the red zone the entire game.
Mike Williams up to the top of your screen. He hasn't had the season he had last year either. You got to get some help from your wideouts. As a throw and catch to a wideout, Briscoe. He started the game tonight with Aurelius Ben out with an injury and a pickup of 17.
And you mentioned Mike Williams. They doubled him, which is why I think Freeman did a heck of a job coming off him and back down to Des Briscoe.
So they just said first down Tampa Bay, and you hear a little bit of a crowd reaction because that's the first down for the Bucs since 13 minutes remained in the first quarter.
No huddle, up tempo. I like it.
No time like the present. Freeman gonna run with this one. Gets a decent gain and is run out of bounds. And more on Freeman from Alex.
Hey guys, you're talking about some of the possible explanations for the drop-off. GM Mark Dominic offers this explanation. Remember, Freeman had a huge jump between his rookie year and his sophomore year. He was in the building every day studying film, working with coaches, working with other players. Well, this year he didn't have that because of the lockout. He didn't have the opportunity to come in and watch film and do all of those things. Still a very young kid, came in with an awful lot of expectations this year, which has been different for him too as well, and something that's been a little bit difficult for him to deal with, Brad.
Yeah, after that 10-win year last year, the expectations Alex is talking about extremely high. They won a lot of close games last year, games that were 3 points or less, and this year
Jeremy Trueblood broke down immediately. There was nothing he could do but leave the pocket and try and make something happen outside.
The thing about Josh Freeman, though, he has a good perspective, even though things have not been going well. He said, you never want to lose sight of the fact that I love playing football, and what a great game this is. I mean, he's like a kid in a candy store still, just because he loves playing pro football. It's just that the wins aren't there right now.
He's 23 years old, and let's not bury this kid. Bright future.
3rd and 3. Throws across the middle. Nice toss to Lumpkin for a first down. Pick up a 13.
Now this time Jeremy Trueblood, the right tackle, does a nice job on Spencer. Watch the right tackle here, and then the quarterback does a wonderful job of stepping up inside, finding a lane, eyes down the field, and hits his back. And that's a good play by a young quarterback right there.
Absolutely. Deepest penetration into Cowboy territory for the Bucs at the 35-yard line. And it's getting deeper down to the 28 on the reception. And that's Kellen Winslow.
Yeah, Preston Parker on the crossing route. Wide open, but that's what I mean. He trusts Winslow. I don't blame him. For a young quarterback, having a security blanket in a quality tight end is a pretty important thing.
Kellen Winslow, 422 career catches, 203 of those with Tampa Bay.
Look at the slot. 180.
Second and 3. Freeman fires a little bit high. Incomplete, intended for Parker. And Parker had double coverage back there.
But that showcased his arm. And I liked his pocket awareness. He stepped up in it and he put it where he needed to put it. He's got a big arm. He can sling it. And that time he was protected well and he put it on him in a tight window.
Defensive coordinator Rob Ryan. Basically his unit has pitched a shutout tonight. The 7 points came on a fumble return. And offensive coordinator Greg Olson on the other side trying to dial something up here on third down to keep moving the chains. 9th play of the Buccaneer drive. On a crossing route again, got it to Lumpkin. Another first down. Sean Lee made the tackle. But the third year back out of Georgia gets a first down.
Yeah, tough matchup here for Sean Lee, who I think is one of the best pass covering inside linebackers in all of the NFL. Here's Lee eyeing up Lumpkin. By lineup, he was outside of him, so the crossing route is almost impossible to cover just because by alignment he's out leveraged.
You saw Sean Lee at the end of that play with a tackle, and he couldn't use much of his left hand because he's playing with ligament and a broken bone in there. He's got a brace on it. Kind of hard to wrap up. First and 10 at the 19. Freeman, far side throw complete. Michael Spurlock with a catch.
You know, it was interesting talking to Sean Lee, who I think is one of the real ascending linebackers in this entire league, and his take on what this league has turned into. And he said that he never wants to get above 240 pounds because this game's about short area quickness and fluidity. It's all about the pass.
Guy that was a safety in high school before becoming an excellent linebacker at Penn State. Second down and 4. This is the best the Bucs have looked tonight on offense. And they're just trying to keep it going here in the final 40 seconds of the third quarter, trying to close the gap on the Cowboys. Freeman, that one. Kellen Winslow looked like it hit him right in the collarbone.
Yeah, that was a fastball. Bang. Handcuffed him a little bit.
Yep.
That had some heat on it. I don't even care, though. I like the fact that he's making decisions and getting the ball out on time, which has been one of the, I think, one of the things this year I've seen on tape.
Don't you think you're in two-down territory here?
Absolutely.
Down 31-7.
Absolutely. 3rd and 4, you got 2 to get it.
190.
Freeman got it complete. Briscoe. Oh, did he take a shot at the goal line? Wow. And held on. They're going to go for 2 here. At least that's what Josh Freeman's telling us.
Look at Sean Lee. He's trying to wall off the wide receiver, but once that wide receiver gets past him, he tries to undercut the route. Man, was that a great throw by the quarterback.
Capping a 75-yard drive in 12 plays.
Hey, I got it. Monday.
And going for 2.
Monday. Yeah. 180.
Freeman to the back of the end zone. Winslow's got it. 2-point good. And there's life for the Buccaneers. And there's life in the stadium. Impressive drive, by far the best of the night. And at the end, the 2-point conversion makes it 31-15. Thursday Night Football Special Edition is brought to you by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers. The Buccaneers back in the game. A two-possession football game after the two-point conversion. The kickoff. Ogletree will backpedal and let it go. So we've got 23 seconds remaining in the third quarter on a beautiful night in Tampa, Florida, and some beautiful shots for you. Our aerial coverage being presented by Southwest Airlines. Brad Nessler, Mike Mayock, Alex Flanagan, and our crew here in the late stages of the third quarter. But now, after that Tampa Bay drive, there's a little bit of life in here.
Well, I mean, if you're keeping score, it's 15-3 Tampa in the second half.
That's right.
And that was a heck of a series for that kid. I thought he threw the ball with touch, accuracy, and timing. The first time we've seen that in this game.
He converted 4 key third downs on that drive, by the way. Toss, sweep, Felix Jones. This one's worked pretty well tonight, but not this time. As Roy Miller and Albert Hainsworth get over there, put the hammer down, and put the quarter to a close. So it was all Dallas in the first half. They had a 28-0 halftime lead. They came out to start the third quarter, fumbled one away, and then the touchdown by the Buccaneers. Nice hit, nice catch. 31-15, end of 3. Something Dallas Cowboy fans don't want to see, but there's been a tendency this year, the Cowboys in fourth quarter, to let things slip away against the Jets. Led in the fourth quarter by 13 against the Lions, and then the debacle last week. 12 points, about 5 minutes, and the Giants won that game. So 15 minutes remaining, and they don't want to let that happen again, or the playoffs might be going bye-bye.
And that 12-point lead last week, to me, I thought Romo and the offense were tremendous. It was busted plays on the back end that cost them.
Snap a little wide. Tony handled it, got it to Witten. Nice stiff arm move by Witten. Witten cross the 30, up to the 35. Nifty footwork by the veteran tight end, and a pickup of 15.
Little sight adjustment by Witten, and you can see right before the snap, he's going to turn around and look at him. Look at him looking back at his quarterback. They think something's coming. There is. What does he do? Open grass, throw him the football, make somebody miss. Poor tackle that time by Sean Jones, and a big-time play by Witten.
4 catches for 77 yards for Jason Witten, the captain, or one of the captains of the offense.
Yellow 80! Yellow 80! Jason, heads up! Watch out! 180!
Quick pass again. This is the other tight end, Bennett, and he's out for about 9.
Mirrors play on the opposite side. Martellus Bennett did the exact same thing. Tampa's bringing 5. Romo content to hit a quick read and go.
A minute gone, fourth quarter. What the Cowboys would like to do is to put together about a 10-minute drive here. Tony Romo, some kind of night though. 2:49 and 3.
Over! 59!
Had 4 touchdown passes last week in a disappointing loss. Tonight his only mistake was a fumble that led to a Tampa touchdown. And Jones almost popped out of the back of that, but did get to the 50.
Good job by Montre Holland and Doug Free at the point of attack. Fiametta getting up there. They have 2 tight ends, 2 backs in the game. That's a heavy run set for them.
Jones approaching the 100-yard mark again. As Mike said earlier, last week, 106 plus 6 catches.
20 carries. That's an awful lot of carries. 3 receptions. He's up to 23 touches. I don't know if he can survive with those numbers.
At midfield, Dallas first down. They fake the stretch play. Romo loads. Comes back to Witten, his safety valve. And Witten run out of bounds by Rondé Barber after a pickup of 4 and a flag down.
Yeah, that was supposed to be a big play action
Prior
in a
to the
vertical.
pass, illegal contact, defense number 31. Yard penalty, automatic first down.
E.J. Biggers, the third-year player out of Western Michigan, working right there. Miles Austin. He wanted Des Bryant on the verticals. A play action, the whole point there was to try and get deep, but a good job by the safety that time, Sean Jones over the top.
Akibu lead over there again on the sideline. Hasn't played since early in the first quarter.
Yeah, if you want to hide, Frank Okam's a good guy to hide behind. He's only 350.
On first down, Romo, draw play, Jones. And Felix Jones has another first down, and he's over 100 now.
They run this draw play as well as anybody in the National Football League. Out of I formation, it's a three-step drop look. Romo goes 1, 2, 3, looks wide. Really good job getting up through the hole. Excellent block by Phil Costa, the second-year player out of Maryland. Right there. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Tony sells that throw so well before the handoff.
They do it exceptionally well. It's a three-step. He looks out wide.
Over 59.
I think that guy's tired right now.
Morris is in to give him a breather. And he gets the handle. Maybe 2 yards for Sammy Morris. Alex?
Hey guys, Felix Jones has looked a little bit gassed at times tonight, as you guys have mentioned, a big test for him. He averages 15.5, 15.6 touches in his 13 career starts. Of course, the Cowboys need a lot more from him tonight. He did say, though, watching DeMarco Murray, he learned that he needed to be a tougher runner. And so Felix Jones getting his chance to really carry the load for the Cowboys. Can he do it?
He has been tough tonight, no doubt about that. 24 touches. And now Sammy Morris getting his work. Second down and 8. Under 11 minutes to play. Bucs trying to come up with some kind of stop on Dallas here. Claiborne from the backside. Romo's going down from the other side. It's Michael Bennett, one of the two Bennett brothers playing in the game. And this one, the Tampa. Bennett gets a big play.
And he's a relentless kid. They use him both inside at defensive tackle and outside. He's working right here. Does a good job with Tyron Smith. He gets pushed up the field, but again, it's being relentless. If the ball comes out on time, the Cowboys are okay, but because Romo has to step up into the pocket, it gives Bennett the opportunity to retrace his steps.
Here's the biggest third down of the night for the Buccaneer defense. Romo across the middle. Looked to me like Tony wasn't even ready for that snap. Something looked funny there. And it's fourth down.
Yeah, the timing of that entire play, I think, was off a little bit.
Back to punt, number 1, Matt McBride.
That sack took him out of field goal range.
There's the play action. I think he wanted Witten, but he felt the pressure from Claiborne, so he just went off his back foot and dumped it. Huge, huge play for the Tampa defense.
Matt McBride to punt. He's had one punt block this year. Just trying to get one down inside the 10-yard line someplace. It's going to go all the way to the end zone, though. So Tampa got the stop they needed. Buccaneers trailing by 16. They've still got hope here in the fourth. Thursday Night Football Special Edition is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Experience truly great engineering today at your authorized dealer. And by T-Mobile. Give the gift of our fastest smartphones on America's largest 4G network. Well, the Buccaneers put together a long drive the last time they had it. They're going to try to do the same here. We've got 10 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. And Josh Freeman was pretty sharp on that last drive that got him to 15, including the two-point conversion to Winslow. Moses Ledoux in the backfield with Josh Freeman in the shotgun. Freeman throws far side, complete to Briscoe. That last drive pretty impressive, Mike.
Yeah, he went 7 for 9, Ness, and here you go. Young blood gets beat inside. Use your legs, get out, be an athlete. Arm strength, ability to step up in the pocket. The undercutting linebacker puts it on. Touchdown, Briscoe. And you want to talk about touch and accuracy in a compressed area? Great touch from the tight end Winslow for the two-point conversion.
As we mentioned before, picked up 4 third-down conversions on that drive. On 2nd and 4, across the middle, Kellen Winslow on the run. Out to the 43-yard line. First down, Tampa Bay.
There's some pace, there's accuracy, there's confidence. Winslow on a crossing route wins. Brad, this kid looks like completely different quarterback than the one we saw, the hesitant, uncertain kid in the first half.
Does he ever? Under 9 minutes. Time is of the essence for the Buccaneers.
You know, some players like the no-huddle feel. Some quarterbacks just kind of like getting out there, getting a full view of the defense instead of coming out of a huddle.
We talked about that Thursday night that Matt Ryan likes it so much for the Falcons. Freeman, across the middle again. First out to the 50 to the tight end. He's using everybody right now.
Yeah, Zach Pianalto, the rookie from North Carolina.
And again, remember what Ron Ryan told us, if we have to scale back and play fast, we'll do that because communication's been a problem defensively in the late stages of ball games. Well, it's about halfway through the 4th quarter and the Bucs are driving. Rookie coming out of blitz. Screen pass might be the right play if he can find some blockers.
Sean Lee.
And he can't. He's tripped up by Sean Lee.
And they're in man coverage, a single high with man coverage. It's really difficult to throw a screen pass against man coverage because he's probably got the screen guy, Moses Madu. Great read and react, the ability to get in space, break down, and make a tackle.
Boy, how about peeling off when you're already in the backfield and make a play like that? A good one. Third down, here's what the Bucs need. They got the big third downs on the last drive. They need one here at the 49-yard line.
And here's where Rob Ryan can get exotic. Only one guy in the stance over there. It's Spencer, you can see.
Josh Freeman didn't like what he saw. They don't want to waste his opportunity here. Timeout, Bucs. Tomorrow on NFL Game Day morning, we'll break down the big Tim Tebow, Tom Brady matchup and be live at all the critical games with playoff implications. Don't miss Game Day morning tomorrow starting at 9 Eastern only on NFL Network. And indeed, there are some big games tomorrow. Lions and Raiders, Patriots and the Broncos, Jets, Eagles, Ravens, Chargers, Steelers, and the 49ers on Monday night's a big one. Will Ben Roethlisberger play or not? Guys will talk about all that on NFL Game Day morning tomorrow at 9. Third down and 4. Huge play for both teams right here, the 7:22 mark.
And look at the muddle right there. Nobody in a three-point stance.
Now who's the penalty on? It's going to be a false start.
False start. Offense number 89. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
So after that timeout, Rob Ryan's defense did a lot of dancing around, and the Buccaneers couldn't hold themselves, and false start.
Got to hold your water. Wide receiver can never be offside. His job is to look at he's 8 yards down the field. Wow. My man Des Briscoe was wide open.
You're going to false start, you might as well go full blast.
And he did. Yo, Des.
Third down and 9.
Okay, here it is again, the muddle. Nobody in the three-point stance. I thought Dallas was offside.
I did too. Freeman got away. Is he going to get a pass away, though? He got planted by Anthony Spencer.
Well, I really thought that Spears and also Victor Butler, look up here, see and hear if these guys get across the line, the neutral zone. Spears and Butler were jumping. I think they got away with one there.
And now the Bucs, they're going for it here on 4th down and 9.
Got to go for it.
Halfway through the 4th quarter. Trying to snap a 7-game losing streak, trying to spoil Tampa Bay's, Dallas's plans. 4th and 9. They got to get all the way to the 47 of the Cowboys. Freeman across the middle. And they got there. First down to Lumpkin. Greg Lumpkin with 3 big catches in the second half.
Missed tackles. Sean Lee knows he had them and effectively could have ended the football game. But give credit to Lumpkin for great individual effort.
Nice stiff arm right to the face of Sean Lee. And that got him the extra yardage, 14 in all, and a first down at the 42. Freeman has to try to just get rid of this one, and did. Almost made it to the stands.
I don't know, though. The refs are talking about it because I think he was within the tackle box, and I didn't see a receiver in the vicinity. There it is. There's a flag. Yep.
Intentional rounding. Offense number 5. Ball placed at the spot of the pass. Loss of down. Second down.
I don't think there was a receiver in here. Remember, if you're in the tackle box, there has to be a receiver in the area. And look, they're all crossing. They're all in that half of the field. Here's the closest receiver right here.
Actually, somebody made a nice catch on the sideline over there. Showing good boys down there in the corner of your screen.
Well, let's declare him eligible. And
wasn't wearing a uniform, and he wasn't in bounds. So now it's 2nd and 21.
Penalties, remember?
Yep.
Penalties. That's what they've talked about. Turnovers and penalties. That's why they're a bad football team.
Freeman over the middle again. And Kellen Winslow's got it inside the 45.
And that's okay. 3-man rush. They dump it down. Now you get yourself into a 3rd down and a more manageable situation. And that's, we already know by definition, this is 4-down territory.
Yep. DeMarcus Ware not in on this defensive set for the Cowboys on this drive. 3rd down and 12. So get some of it and then get the rest. Or try to get it all right here. Freeman, that one's batted down at the line. Now it's 4th down and a whole bunch. But you've only got 6 minutes to play and you might not get the football back.
Great job at the line of scrimmage, finding the football, elevating. Big Marcus Spears. Now they just went for it on 4th and 9. They've got to go for it again.
Now they've got to get all the way down to the 33-yard line. Fourth down and probably ball game right here. Deep drop by Freeman. And a long ball off the tip to the fingers of Parker.
I thought Parker had an opportunity to make a catch. The ball was high and he was going to get ripped. But I thought he had a chance to make a catch.
It would have been a 1st down, and it could have helped keep hope alive for the Bucs, but now the Cowboys take over on downs. Cowboys take over on downs after that long pass. And you know, maybe
I thought he should have had it.
Yeah. Preston Parker's 6'2", he probably catches that. I don't know, but at any rate, on 4th down, Cowboys take over at the 45-yard line. They can ice this game away if they can put a couple drives together. Or a drive that's time-consuming. This guy helping the cause. Felix Jones into Bucs territory. This is about the point last week when everything exploded in the Cowboys' faces. They don't want that to happen again.
Yeah, well, 5:41 to go. This is where you get kind of into that 4-minute offensive set. I know there's over 5 minutes left, but the mentality is it's a 2-score game, and you're taking your time. Tony Romo's going to run the clock down as much as he can. If possible, they're going to try to run the football. They'll throw some passes when they can or have to, but they want to stay in bounds and keep the clock rolling.
And that clock is down to 5 minutes. Austin in motion. Give it off Sammy Morris. That was a long stretch just to get it to him. It was nice penetration by one of the Buccaneers, but they did get it in Sammy's hands, and he got 1 yard on it.
Don't forget the Bucs have already burned a timeout earlier this half because of confusion, so they only have 2 remaining.
This would be an 8th straight loss for Tampa Bay, and it would be another victory for the Cowboys, who are trying to keep pace in the playoff picture. This would put them at 8-6, and if they win their remaining 2 games, including against the Giants, they would win the division.
59. You gotta go to 20.
I'm not so sure Washington's going to sit down for the Giants tomorrow either, to be honest with you.
Good point. 3rd and 3. And Morris spinning. I don't think he got it.
Morris on the carry.
Nope. Going to be a couple feet shy, I think.
Rondé Barber got skinny through the A-gap. I just am continually, I've said it 3 times tonight, I'm kind of repeating. Watch him get skinny right through here. feels both guards. Gets the penetration that disrupts the timing of the play, and that's all about Rondé Barber. Now, don't jump off sides. If you're Tampa Bay, hold your water and force a punt.
Do you come after the punt?
They weren't ready. Ball snapped. Good job by Dallas.
McBride just line drives this baby. All he wanted to do was kick it. He kicked it all the way to the corner of the end zone. So Tampa Bay is going to get another chance. 3.5 minutes to play. (31-15), Dallas with the lead. And of course, all those great years the Cowboys had from the 60s to 96, 32 postseason wins, most of the NFL. But hey, since then, only one. And you got to get to the postseason before you get postseason wins. And right now, that's all Jason Garrett's worried about, is getting through the next 3.5 minutes of this game and going back to Dallas with an 8-6 record. And the knowledge that you control your own destiny to make those playoffs.
And I would make the argument, had they had better play in the secondary in the last 7 or 8 years, specifically at the safety position, there might be significantly more than one playoff win.
And their secondary is going to try to hold up here now, because the Buccaneers have got the ball and still a chance with 2 timeouts remaining and the 2-minute warning. Freeman. Double clutches. Now he's in trouble. Flags are down. We're probably going to have a holding call. And Briscoe doesn't make the catch on the sideline.
Yeah, Terrence Newman had Mike Williams all bottled up.
Number 52. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Call that one on center, Jeff Fain. So the Bucs, when they needed to go to the left, are going to the right.
From the inside, you can see Fain, like he was holding on to Gathers.
This is where a big play receiver would come in handy for Tampa Bay.
No question. Last time this matchup up here favored Dallas, he wanted Michael Williams badly, and Newman had him covered.
1st and 20, Freeman near his own goal line. Throws it short to Lumpkin. He's been his favorite receiver in this half. But a short gain, 5 yards before Butler made the tackle. And time is wasting away. It'll be less than 3 minutes when the Bucs snap it this time.
Yeah, and Dallas will take that all day long.
Wide pressure.
Third-year quarterback, you got to get him going, man. You're down 2 scores and a 2-point conversion. Taking too long.
Yep, way too long. They might as well have huddled. Freeman over the middle, short again. This time Lumpkin just dropped it. He was thinking about which way to turn to get the extra yardage. And the fans are booing because everything is short crossing routes and stuff out of the backfield right now when they need a big play.
I think what a young quarterback will learn with a 3-man rush is that you have to identify it and know you have plenty of time. You can slide, you can move, you can buy your wide receivers time to get vertical and find a crease in the zone. That's what a 3-man rush allows you to do. Romo has taken advantage of that tonight. Freeman has not.
Cowboys with twice as many yards as the Bucs tonight. Buccaneers need 15 on 3rd down. Again, the short route. Kellen Winslow. There's just too many Cowboys around to get free. Now you're down to your last gasp, I guess, on 4th down, and a 2-minute warning coming up. 4th and 12.
There's no urgency here. I mean, if you can score and kick onside, you got a chance. There's absolutely no urgency here.
They need to get all the way out to the 30-yard line on this play. And
now we're going to get a look at this. Let's see.
No flag.
Michael Spurlock, the intended receiver.
So the Cowboys take over on downs again. A look at that last play. Thursday Night Football Special Edition is brought to you by Sears. Sears has the perfect gift for anyone on your list. Real gifts, real joy. Sears. And by Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings beer, sports. What else do you need? Check in with Kara Henderson. Kara?
On the Kay Jewelers postgame show with Marshall Falk and Deion Sanders, Tony Romo's going to join us on the set after a big night on the field, and we'll talk about the Cowboys' path to the playoffs.
All right, Kara, we'll see you in a couple of minutes. 1:54 remaining as the Cowboys have taken over on downs for the second time in this quarter, as the Bucs couldn't come up with any offense when they needed it.
Any offense, it would help if the intended receiver made an effort to catch the football.
I was going to say, Michael Mayock, what was Michael Spurlock thinking on that last throw by Josh Freeman? Certainly not that he wanted to catch the ball, I guess.
He knew he was going to get lit up, and there was no effort to catch the football.
Let's go. 180.
Sammy Morris plows his way down to the 15. So another excellent night by Felix Jones, and Sammy Morris taking over. Here's that play we were talking about.
Look, he knows he's getting lit up. He didn't even put his hands out. Give Elam a credit for initiating contact with a shoulder pad to a shoulder pad, not a defenseless receiver up high. However, Michael Spurlock, you got to try and catch that football, man.
That's Tyron Smith, the #1 draft choice we were talking about, who's down for the Cowboys. That's the one thing you don't want to happen. The final couple of minutes of what looks like a win, get one of your starters hurt. Tony Romo's concerned, that's for sure. Tyron Smith is apparently okay, up and off under his own power. And the Cowboys at the 15-yard line. Subscribe to NFL Magazine, the new official monthly magazine of the National Football League, available at NFL.com/magazine and newsstands everywhere. Final 1:48. Tampa Bay has a couple of timeouts. Sammy Morris down around the 12-yard line. Tony Romo, everybody talks about his December record. September was great over the years. October, November, awesome, including 4-0 in this year. And then December slips away. But Mike, you want to make that an 8 with your telestrator over there?
You guys always yell at me for doing it too much. Now you freaking encourage me. I don't get it.
Well, just trying to help the cause. There's Tony's numbers tonight. Other than a fumble, he had a 1-yard touchdown run too. But other than the fumble that gave Tampa Bay their first touchdown, he's been spot on tonight. No interceptions for Romo in his last 132 pass attempts, and that goes back to Thanksgiving and the Miami game.
And I hope Tyron Smith is okay. I mean, that 21-year-old kid, the youngest guy, and the youngest player in the NFL, they can't afford to lose him on this playoff run.
I think he's okay.
Thank you, doctor. From up here in the box, he's good.
3rd and 5, he's good to go. Sammy Morris tripped up for loss.
Dr. Vinny Boomboss said, hey, he's good. My man.
Tampa Bay takes one of its 2 remaining timeouts. 75th start for Tony Romo. Came in 46 and 28, and most passing yards in first 75 starts. That's good company right there.
22 more yards, he gets to Kurt Warner, huh?
Yep. I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's got 22 more yards in him tonight. They're at the 13-yard line. 4th and 6.
I look at that first guy on the list, Dan Marino, and that's my argument against when people say you have to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, Dan Marino can't play defense. Either can Tony Romo. You can only do the best you can on your side of the line of scrimmage. Archie Manning couldn't play defense. There's a lot of great quarterbacks that never won a Super Bowl.
Morris, boy, got a nice block on the edge. Bouncing off, guys. What a run.
I'm telling you, Nessler, you're on your game tonight.
How about Kozar getting out there?
You know, you got the whole program, man. I'm leaving. There you go. You got this replay. Go.
There it is.
Go ahead. Go. Let it go.
Kyle Kozar coming around on the pull and then bang.
What'd he do? Who'd he get? Mason Foster. Logged him.
Middle linebacker.
That a boy.
And then Sammy Morris does the rest himself. Nice stiff arm, puts his head down, gets his pads lowered, as they say, or as you would say. And it's 1st and goal at the 5.
Can I try play-by-play?
Go ahead. You got 54 seconds to play with.
Nice. First down, ball on the 4 up. They're in the victory position. I got this one.
It's the greatest play in football if you're ahead. That's the only time you get to use it. Big smile from a winning quarterback. A win they needed desperately. Not so happy on the other side for a young guy whose team has lost 8 straight. But the Bucs made it a football game for a while here in the second half.
And give him some credit for that, Nets. Down 28-0 at half with nothing to gain. I give Raheem Morris's guys some credit for coming after it in the second half.
Yep. He told Alex he wanted to see if they quit or continue to fight. They did continue to fight, but there wasn't enough fight to overcome the lead that Dallas had built. And there's the last knee of the ball game. Cowboys are 8-6. Playoffs are still in sight. Big night by the Cowboy quarterback.
Thank you all for joining us here tonight and for your support.
Our special edition of Thursday Night Football comes up with a Dallas win, 31-15. We'll be back in a minute with the Kay Jewelers post-game show featuring highlights, analysis, interviews, and press conferences. And, as Kara said, Tony Romo. Stick around with us. Cowboys win it tonight, 31-15.